Hey guys, welcome back to RHR Jen. Buckle up. I'm glad you're here. Let's do this thing. You guys, I just watched episode 1 of With Love Megan on Netflix. That's right. I've been up since 1 a.m. and you're going to see that in my video today. The episode dropped at 3 a.m. So here I am. I've got my notes. I've got my snark. I've got my sarcasm. I've got my name. I'm ready to do this thing. Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, I'm Jen Honk Honk. We're going to be talking episode 1, my general thoughts, what happened through the episode. We're going to take a look at some stuff. Yeah, we got lots to go over. So thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you're subscribed and you hit the thumbs up button. It really does help me out. This week, I've got so much going on. I'm going to be going episode by episode. I've got a collab scheduled pretty much every day this week. I'm very excited. Lots of good stuff coming. Make sure you're subscribed and you got the notifications, all the things. So that way you check back lots. If I can swing any live chats this week, I'll do that as well. We have so much to discuss. Now, let's start with this. You can read what it says. Okay, so throughout the show, they do that. Do you believe in magic? Well, I have to give credit where credit's due. John Witherspoon, the attorney that I so much enjoy talking to, he will be coming on this week as a guest. We were talking collab and behind the scenes stuff, and he just popped out with this instead of do you believe in magic? And I couldn't stop laughing. I said, John, may I please use that? And he said, of course. I said, I will be giving you a shout out. And he was like, okay, if you must. But no, thank you, John, for that. I think that's so funny. The other thing that I want to give credit to where credit's due is John said, it hasn't even started. This is before the first episode. He said, it hasn't even started, but I already want it to stop. Me too, John. Me too. Okay. But again, I have so much exciting stuff coming out this week. So many collabs. I'm just so excited to talk about all this with you. Now let's get into episode 1 of With Love Megan. Woo! Guys, just an overview. I've lost IQ points watching this thing. Okay, I'm going to go into this and tell you totally honest. I pride myself on honesty. We're going to be honest here. I said the same thing with the polo show. I was prepared not to hate it. I was curious, and I do consider myself as keeping an open mind. If it didn't stink, I was prepared to tell you, you know what? It didn't stink. And there are parts of this that I will compliment as we go. Not much and not anything to do with Megan, but there are things that I've noticed. So I'll talk to you about it. But on the whole, this thing was so awful. This thing was a train wreck. I am 1 episode in. I'm going episode by episode. So this is the only one I have to go on. And I haven't watched any of my other favorite YouTubers yet because I didn't want to taint. That's right. I said taint. Didn't want it to taint up here. I wanted to come at this with fresh eyes, my own opinion, pages of notes, ready to do this. Okay. So I was prepared to tell you my honest thoughts, and I am going to tell you my honest thoughts. And it is such a disaster. I don't understand what they were thinking. All I can figure is that Netflix can't stand her or that she railroaded what she wanted because there is no way that this is what they wanted. There's just no way. Just off the top of my head, I've got it's all men. So in this episode, we didn't see a single female except for Megan. Is that bad design? I would assume so. I know women guests are coming and all that, but for now, it's just all men. So I thought that was interesting. And we'll get into her guest, and I'm gonna go through the whole show. These are just my general thoughts. She used her guest in this one. Her guest was that makeup artist Kevin. I've talked about him in separate videos. I'm not a fan of that guy. I saw a documentary with him, and I talked about it on Patreon where he was so over the top kissing her, you know what? And I believe, and I may be confusing him. Sorry, I may be confusing him, but I believe he's one of the ones that jumped on. I might have this wrong. I believe he's one of the ones that jumped on the Where's Kate. If I have this guy right, I need to go back and look. If not, apologies, then I have him wrong. But I do know he's very, very much in the documentary I watched. It was supposed to be like, it's a while ago, but it was supposed to, like, I would see some people say like, her wedding makeup or her wedding look wasn't great, but still this, that, even though it was pro Megan, it was still, they would give some, well, she could have done better at this. It's a little surprising. Not this guy. He was so far just team Megan, couldn't think Anything except for Meghan's great. So, again, you gotta think about that when you watch this stuff. Let's see here. The hugs. There are hugs throughout this, but she's using this guy to tell the camera things. I noticed that quite a bit. Things like she's nice and that she's a hard worker. I will go into that. Um, the music throughout this thing. I love music, and I don't even care if it's my genre of music or not. I found it a bit distracting. I think that they just don't have much to go on with this thing, so they just kept blaring the music. And so I just found it like, why do it just be loud music? And it was just kind of odd. And it was kind of I didn't know what it wanted to be, like a nostalgic sound. Again, like think about, do you believe in magic? Do you believe it's, that? Just that kind of blaring music over and over again. So that was weird. They kept putting weird squares on the screen. I don't know what that was about. It was to blur the edges. It almost felt like, again, like a filter or something. The only thing I could think is by doing that, the squares on the screen over and over, putting her weird calligraphy up over and over and playing the loud music there's not much substance to this thing. So they need to do tricks like that, party tricks like that, right? To keep you entertained. That's all I can figure. I really don't know. But I've just watched episode 1 and it's called Hello, Honey. If you see me looking down, it's because I have my notes right here. So I'm just trying to remember parts of it. It kicked off with the bees. The bees. Now, I can't show you videos from this because it's Netflix copyright and stuff. I grabbed a couple of screenshots as I go to help the talking points so I can show you a couple of things. Let me start with this. What am I thinking? This is her outfit she wore to cook in. Just take that in. This is what she's cooking in. I just want to put that out there. So white shorts, white shirt, barefoot. I think here she's got on shoes, but you'll see she's barefoot in the kitchen. It's weird. Who doesn't cook in a baggy, flowy, blousy white shirt and white shorts? Shorts pulled up to her neck. She has not met a blousy top that she can't tuck in tight to her pants and her shorts and then pull up to her neck that she doesn't love. I can't make sense of that look at all. It's not flattering on anybody. And it makes her look so much older than she is, or, how old you believe she is. Here's the With Love Meghan that we got a lot of calligraphy from throughout. Here you go. Starting with the bees. I'll get back to the mountains. That's out of order. Starting with the bees. No, just no. I don't understand starting with the bees. Who is this for? Dare I say 99.999999% of us go to the store to buy our honey. And while we may be interested, in the process and how it works, but she was almost selling it in a way of, this is so easy for you to do. What? She was showing her bee guy and smiling. Rick just grins at the camera immediately. These are just things I noticed. She called it busy bees. One of the most cringe things she said here is, she said a lot of cringe stuff here, but here I wrote it down. She wrote, I've got good vibes for beehives. It's beautiful to be this connected. What are we talking about? What are we connected to? The bees? See that cringe face she's making? I'm making that face. It's beautiful to be this connected. Okay, you're not exactly known for your connections, Maggie Poo. What connections would you say you had? Is it familial connections, friends connections, family connections? What are we talking about? Beautiful to be this connected to bees? To honey? What? She's talking about bringing flowers in. Daniel's coming over. Daniel is the makeup artist that I talked about. Here's the flowers. I mean, it's basically, I was trying to think, who is this for? I'm not sure. Her fans. But other than that, like, it's not showing me, hey, these are the kind of flowers. This looks good. It's just, I've collected these flowers. Okay, Meghan. Cool. It's like she made a to-do list for herself and then filmed it. Guys, I've made notes. Let me film me making notes. You don't care about that. I'm just here to recite my notes and to tell you my thoughts. You don't care about the process, like, the process of me making notes, me showing you the notes, and she's showing you clipping flowers. Okay, great. The thing that the common theme that I found myself saying throughout this thing is, you had a team of people. I would assume personally, and also on the Netflix show, there are a team of people working on this. And this is what you came up with. Clipping these flowers and making bath salts. Yes. Yes, we're going to get into that. We'll get into it right now. The first recipe she makes is bath salts. Am I crazy? Isn't this a cooking show? And I know they've since rebranded saying it's not a cooking show. It's a cooking show. 90% of this episode took place in the kitchen. So the first thing you're going to show us a recipe for is bath salts. And I'm sorry, I'm going to make the obvious joke. If you or your partner are suspected and openly discussed in his book Spare to be on substances, are you going to make bath salts as your first recipe? I'm just asking for a friend. I just wondered about that. But her dear friend Daniel is coming over, Daniel, the makeup artist. So again, this is a show about cooking and friendships. Her friend is the makeup artist, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love makeup. I mean, I've never had a makeup artist. I love makeup. It's 5:00 in the morning. I had to paint my face up to look awake. But it just says something to me that her first guest, her friend, is her makeup artist. Because I don't think she can keep somebody unless they're under her employment. Just a guess. Even then, she can't keep them. So I just think that's interesting. She does address right off the bat that it is not her home. She says that she's coming to stay, but it won't be at her house. She's using this area as a prep area. Okay. Well, hey, she admitted something. I got to figure that was probably, I'm just guessing. I wonder if it was not aired, but then added back in after all the flack of people saying this isn't her house. I feel like this is a clap back to the camera. I wonder if this was like a reshoot or something, just a hunch. Let's see what else. She's talking about, making bath salts using arnica oil. Now, if you follow the Johnny Depp Amber Heard of it all, you'll know why I'm making this face. Elaine. They called it, I think she kept messing up calling it Amica cream, and it's arnica. I might have those but it doesn't matter. Anyway, you get the idea. I think of Elaine and that whole thing. And then she goes into tea bag in a bath. Okay, again, hello Urban Dictionary. We all know about the roast chicken of it all. We all know what tea bag. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. She talks about the joy of being a hostess. For her, it's surprising people, letting them know that she was thinking about them from the morning to the night, the whole experience. Really? Are you known for being a super thoughtful person? I don't think so. Again, look at her, look at the past, look at everything. Look at the way they treated Her Majesty the late Queen, the family, both sides, everybody around them. Look at how she treats Has in public. Is this thoughtful behavior? Is this known for being thoughtful? Really? Like, I think the only thing she thinks about is herself. Look at me. Look at me being thoughtful. It's more like I'm thoughtful, pat on the back. It's not genuine thoughtfulness. I just can't make sense of that. So she's making her friends some bath salts. That sentence is, again, this. And that's meant to be a thoughtful, I don't know, thoughtful from morning to night. Okay. She goes on to tell us that Daniel has been her friend for 15 years. Okay. Then she goes, and I quote because I wrote it down, he's been in my life before, during, and after, shall we say, and leaves it at that. What are we talking about, Meg? I know what she's talking about. What are we talking about, Meg? Before, during, and after what? So, okay. All right. This is her way of saying, look at me with Love Meghan, the Duchess. It's before, after, during, and after the title. That's what it is. I wouldn't say her marriage to has no pulse because I don't think she gives a crap about that. It's the title. She says that her kids call him Uncle Daniel. Again, this is the makeup artist. I'm not belittling makeup artists. I support them. I support anybody to do whatever you want to do. But it's interesting to me that both families are estranged, and yet Uncle David is a makeup artist. Okay. All right. Sure. She wants him to feel looked after and cared for. Interesting that she does not take the same approach with her father, but she will with her friend, the makeup artist. Again, I'm not belittling his profession. Don't misread that. It's more of somebody under her employment, somebody that would have more of an interest in not saying the wrong thing, has more at stake here, to not say the wrong thing or not say something negative. I just find that very interesting. It's not lost on me. Um, let's see here. She says, okay, so this is where she makes the disclaimer. This isn't my house. He'll be staying at my house. I'm going to prep everything here, bring it back to my home. He will be staying there. Okay, well, there's that. Then goes into bedtime blooms, snacks for Daniel, looking for something sweet and something savory. So I was talking to my peeps this morning, very early in the morning, as you do. And one of my peeps, love you, pointed out, look at all the waste. And I started to notice, and she was absolutely right. Look at all the waste. Look at all the plastic everywhere. And for the eco-conscious warriors that are Harry and Meghan, who fly private everywhere, I'm surprised that she would do that. It was just something I noticed as well over and over is plastic bags, throwing things away. Like, yeah, how's that? How's that eco-consciousness working out for you? She was labeling truffle popcorn. I'm trying to make this more interesting. It's just not. Peanut butter pretzels, putting those in a bag, from one bag to another bag for him. She says that she loves those and that her mom does too. So I'm like, okay. All right, let's mention family without showing family. Gotcha. I see what you're doing there. Let's trot out Doria when you need to trot out Doria. Again, she's wearing a white shirt. It's very oversized. She makes a crudité platter. May I show you her crudité platter, please? Let's see, is it here? Nope, I wanted to show this. She does look at my jewelry throughout. We had a lot of shots of the jewelry, and it appears like another bracelet's been added. Here's my question as somebody, that doesn't wear 15 million pieces of jewelry. So I have 3 things on. 1, 2, 3, besides the necklace and earrings, but on my hands, on my arms. I don't understand putting them all on one side. I've never understood that. Why? Somebody smarter than me explain it back to me. Why does she put 15 pieces of jewelry on one hand or one arm and nothing on the other? I can't make sense of that. I only wear the one thing on my wrist. So if I had something else, I would put it on this wrist, most likely. And I understand sometimes people do a watch and a bracelet together, and that looks elegant. But why the 15 pieces on one arm? Can somebody explain that to me? Make it make sense? I can't make it make sense. I guess so you don't miss it, so it all flashes. I don't know. I got screenshots like this where she's making faces. Super happy to be there. Lots of just chopping of vegetables. Here you go. Here's the platter. Okay. All right. So this has all been done before Daniel even gets here. I'm talking about Daniel. Daniel's not here yet. She's talking about Daniel. She's showing all the things that she's made for him. Yeah. She talks about it being colorful and then says it doesn't need to be perfect. Okay. All right. What are we doing? What is this? What? I don't understand who this is for. All right. She's not okay. Like even in this, it wasn't, here's my favorite dip, here's how to make it. It's just, here's some dips. There you go. Here's a platter. So again, I'm not dumb and neither are you. People have done this for her. Yes, she was there chopping vegetables, but come on. It's a Netflix show. It's a cooking show. I get it. They all do it, meaning they have people doing this stuff for them. So I'm supposed to believe that she sat here and chopped all this stuff and arranged it like this and handmade all these dips and is pouring the oil and stuff. No, people have done it for her. And so now she just goes in, chops a few extra things, pour some oil in it. There you go. What is this show? Who is this for? All right. Yeah, and then we got interstitials like this. See, there's the blur that I was talking about and the squares around everywhere. And then focus on the dumb handwriting. I guess that's supposed to do something. Okay, then we go into this where she's going to make us some pasta. It's called single skillet spaghetti. Again, I will be totally honest. Sure, I would eat this if one of you guys made it or if I made it or something, but I don't see this as spaghetti. It's kind of weird. She did spend a little more time teaching us how to make this. Okay, fine. I'll give her that. She made a recipe at like 26 minutes into the show. Okay. Um, he hurts himself actually making this. He's chopping, I think it's tomatoes at the time or something. And he actually cuts his finger. And so she gets a band-aid and they laugh and she's barefoot and I can't make sense of it. I am talking to a chef, so I'll bring in opinions because I don't cook. So I'll bring in opinions on this food. I'm very curious to see what they say about this because sure, it's just a pretty pasta dish. Okay, great. Who is this for? What are we doing? What is this? What? I'm going to watch a 40-minute Netflix show to learn about pasta with some tomatoes, some garlic, some greens in there? No, probably not. I'm just going to Google it. So, what is this? The weird thing, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys can correct me on this. Again, I don't cook. She made the spaghetti dish, but then she made such a big deal about adding lemon to it. There were so many mentions of lemon already. That's definitely the stupid non-calligraphy loopy swoopy bullshit that she does is definitely her thing, and lemon is her thing, and beige, meaning she's just going to make it her thing over and over by slamming it down our throats. So it's lemon. Would you? Okay. That grosses me out. And I understand that there are weird things and weird things, meaning like my mom, if you're watching, I love it. Mom makes the best lasagna you've ever had. That's her specialty dish. She'll tell you she made it for for my dad when they first got married because it's the only thing she knew how to cook. And she kept making it over and over. It's hilarious. She makes it all the time and I love it. Like she doesn't make it enough. I love it so much. Okay. And she'll tell you one of the secret things she adds in there is just a little bit of cinnamon. So I get because the cinnamon I think cuts the acidity of the tomato, something like that. I don't cook. It just gives it a more deep depth of flavor. Okay. I get it. There are cooking tricks that I don't possibly understand. I just enjoy. Great. I don't understand lemon in this dish. I don't. For you cooks out there, for you chefs, for you home cooks, whatever, would you put lemon in this? Because it seemed like they were grating quite a bit of, I'm doing the grating, of lemon zest in there. It just kind of grossed me. I was like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about I don't know about that. I'll ask the chef about that. Let's see here. She talks about pretty plating. And Kevin, when she asks him how it is, he goes, holy shit. So I'm like, okay, great. She brings up Beyonce in this. There's Kevin right there. She brings up Beyonce in this because of course she does. She wants her name to be tied in the same sentence with Beyonce, praying that once again it'll trend something with her and Beyonce. I feel like it's all about the algorithm. Speaking of, let me digress for a second and give a shout out to Resting Dollface, who is one of my collaborations this week. I'm so excited to talk to her later in the week about this train wreck. Resting Dollface is brilliant. If you don't follow Resting Dollface, follow Resting Dollface. She's on Twitter. She's really good. She pointed out something. So I went to bed early last night because I knew I'd be up early for this train wreck. Okay. So I missed that Meghan had gone to New York. I guess Meghan went to New York to do something with this show. And I missed that she went to New York. And I was talking again to my girls, as you do beforehand, like, oh my God, pray for me. I'm about to do this show. And they're like, oh, good luck. And they pointed out that Resting Dollface was showing that Meghan went to New York and sent me. I was like, why is Meghan in New York? What does that have to do? I don't understand. Again, credit to Resting Dollface who put it together. Of course she went to New York. Of course she did. She went to New York. It was talking over and over about as ever, Meghan. Because then As ever NYC. If you search that, it'll go back. It's all about the Google algorithm. She's trying to change things. It'll go back to her instead of the clothing. As ever NYC. Brilliant. Resting doll face, you're brilliant. I didn't even think about that. That's so smart. Didn't even catch that. Brilliant. Yeah, that's what she's doing. So again, don't let this ha 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 tee hee hee. I'm an influencer. I make honey and job and things like that fool you. We don't have a new sweet innocent Meghan. She's still up to some tricks. I mean, we know this, but she's up to some tricks. Don't let her fool you. Thank you, Resting Doll Face. That's brilliant. Okay. Let's see here. I also, by the way, I'll go ahead and shout out. Let's see. I'm collabing with a chef very soon. I'm looking over my list over here because I have so many people. I'm so excited. Revealing the Narc. I'm collabing with Resting Dollface. I'm collabing with Dylan. I'm collabing with Trevor. I'm collabing with I'm losing the word collabing with John Witherspoon, the attorney. I'm so excited. And if I forgot anybody, it's not on purpose. I'm still working out some other collabs as we speak, hoping to get with the twins. I'm so excited. So much to talk about. Anyway, yeah, so much to talk about. But yeah, all that's coming up. So check back lots. But going back to, yeah, so then we go back into the honey of it all. She's scooping it out. She calls it nature's magic. Oh, I just want to dive out of my window. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Back to her and Kevin. They have some wax. I mean, okay, so again, I'll give a shout out to my behind the scenes helpers who don't like shout outs. You know who you are. I love you both. Who was pointing out that while the show sucks and Meghan sucks and everything about this sucks, the showrunners at least seem to have their stuff together, meaning they did have a common thread in this one. It seemed to be honey. They would tie back to the honey of the bees, to the honey and recipes. There's a cake coming up where honey plays a part. They use the beeswax to make candles, things like that. So at least I'm not just trying to be negative. I'm telling you, like, if I find anything positive, and that is a positive. So there's that. Otherwise, what is this show? Who is this for? All I can honestly think is this is for somebody who really likes Meghan. Because if you really like Meghan, then you get to see this girl you like doing these things. Because it's not for your home. It's not for your home chef. It's not for somebody that's like, oh yeah, I want to pick up some crafts. Because it's making candles, meaning she got beeswax from her bees on her property. It's not relatable things. That's where the show is struggling. She's trying to be relatable. I'm barefoot in my kitchen. I'm just, having guests and stuff, but it's not relatable. We don't just have beeswax, most of us, hanging out that we can just make candles with. We don't have the luxury of all day just to piss away and make beeswax candles with. No, most of us are like busting our butts working, like it's just, so I don't know. I don't think the show knows who it's for or what it's supposed to be. It's not relatable. I'm not sure what it is, honestly. Let's see. Then we go into honey lemon cake. She makes a honey lemon cake. And my first thought was, oh, is this a Trevor cake? But remember, that was an olive oil cake. So I feel like it's similar. It's just been tweaked a little bit to throw in some honey to have that common. This is my thread, the common thread throughout. That's all I can figure with this. But so it's a chance for Kevin to bring up her wedding cake. He's like, this reminds me of your wedding cake. This is just a cake like that you would have. It in no way is like her wedding cake, meaning like it doesn't look like it. I don't think it has much in common. So it's just a way to bring up her wedding cake and remind us all that she's married to Dum Dum Prince. Okay. And then he has to tie in that he's been in her life for a while. Look, she has friends. He was like, I was at that tasting with you. Okay, weird. She calls it the naked cake. And the reason that I bring this up is because while I don't cook, I do enjoy baking occasionally. And I do know that this was a trend at least 10 years ago. The naked cake. I had friends getting married and I remember they were talking about the naked cake and I was like, what's the naked cake? But it's where you either don't frost or you barely frost the outside of this cake. so that way you can see the layers of the cake, and it's just it was a trend 10 years ago. Again, I'm not trying to nitpick. I'm more telling you I don't know anything about cooking and know very little about baking. I know some about baking, but not a ton. But I recognize that this is an outdated trend. Her team of people, and even her, if she's pretending to be into this stuff, but her team of people didn't see this and say, "Oh, well, now we can do this," or now it's, in 2025 or 2024 even, people are doing this now, not this. So I just find that weird. It's like if she came along with this cake, jammed a Barbie in the top, and then frosted its dress. Remember that was a trend like 20 years ago. She's like, "I made this thing." And you're like, "Megan, no, you didn't. This has been around. This is a thing." We got a Creek. We got a sneak peek of another preview the Netflix dropped again while I was sleeping last night. The nerve of them. I've already been in and put a comment, find my comment, thumbs it up. But it's about her making a rainbow platter of fruit. And I'm not going to go too much into it because, again, my friend John had so many funny thoughts on this. I'm going to let him take the lead on this when we get to that. But, and I think it's coming up in a soon episode, but I know he'll have lots to say on that. But it's just, again, it's a thing of, you have a team of people. This is supposed to be something to make us go, "Whoa, I want to watch this." And I haven't seen that. I haven't. I haven't seen that. Let's see. Bird chirping seemed to be added in throughout. They definitely left the door open and every light on, as you do for a bright cooking show. I get it. But they kept imposing the birds chirping. And then when you walk outside, you realize there's no trees anywhere around. So it's clearly obviously added in after. I just found that a weird detail. Look how down to earth and natural as I harvest my own bees for my backyard. It's like, again, it can't reconcile itself. As I get to stay at home leisurely and entertain my friends that are flying in from out of town, these are not relatable things necessarily. So, in this multi-million-dollar house, and then let me get this is a good time to show. She's trying to be relatable while showing, things like that. This is the view as they enjoy the cake. Okay, sure. We can all relate to this. No, we can't. We cannot. Anyway, put this guy away. Let's see here. And then, she then started to say, again, she would go back and forth and try to juxtapose this multi-million-dollar compound and these unrelatable things like making your own bath salts. And by saying, like, this doesn't have to feel so precious. Talking about, so she made a cake. Let me show you the cake. And when decorating it, she would say things like that. And I was just like, I just don't understand. I just don't. Here we go. That's the bees and the honey. Here you go. This just doesn't have to feel so precious. Okay. All right, Megan, but you're kind of making it that. Sorry if it's shaking. Oh, there's the candles. And that's the other thing. She didn't show how to make this cake. So if you thought you were going to learn how to make a cake, au contraire, mon frère, it's not it. The cake was already made. She's like, "I made this beforehand." "I'm sure you did, Megan. I'm sure you did." And then she's like, "We're going to decorate." They stuck a couple of raspberries on it. It wasn't anything. I just can't make sense of this. I got very mad about this cake. If you're going to have cake, have cake. This wasn't that. I don't know what this was. She then made Daniel an elixir. I wondered why they kept talking about his oh, there you go. There's the cake. Okay. It just looks like some raspberries with some grass on top. Okay. But that's a naked cake. I've seen that again. My friend got married like 10 something years ago, maybe 11 years ago. And she had a naked cake. She had a red velvet naked cake and didn't have it frosted around the outside. I'd never heard of that before. I was like, that's kind of cool. It's kind of neat looking. But then I thought it's probably gonna get dry though, because you're not frosting around. But whatever. But again, it was a trend 10 years ago. Yeah. So then she decided, they kept talking about his allergies, and she decided she needed to make him an elixir with, again, guess what? Lemons and honey and a little pepper. Okay. And then they go outside and they sit and they look at the view and there's the elixir. There, oh gosh, there you go. That's what she's cooking in. The shirt, you can't even tell from this distance or this angle, but up close, it was 4 sizes too big. So it's this big blousey shirt that was just all over the place, and she's working with food. She has all that jewelry on working with food. She has shorts and barefoot. And again, if it's your own food, fine, whatever. But this is more, she's showing these cooking things, and I just found it very bizarre. And then they very relatably sat outside and enjoyed the cake. And she recapped what they did. She went back over it all. Again, it was I have to remember. See, I can't remember. I'm already blacking out. Spaghetti, bath salts, candles, and cake. Oh my! So again, the theme seems to be honey on this one. So I'll give the showrunner, producer, whoever it is, credit for that. But otherwise, what is this? Again, I ask you, who is this for? What is this train wreck? I don't know. It was called Hello, Honey. Okay, sure. I've given up the will to live. No. What is this? It's like she's creating problems that don't exist and then making a shit ton of work to try to solve them. I think that's her MO in general, is to try to create problems where there aren't some. We have candles. We don't need to harvest our own bees and get beeswax and make them. Fine if you want to do that, but again, it leads back to who's this for then? What is this? We I don't know. It's just all I don't know. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that. That's where we're at on the show. I'm not trying to be negative about it. I'm telling you the honest truth. It is a disaster. It is so nothing burger that they have to just blare music and weird writing and stuff on the screen and then cut in and out with whatever the theme is, like honey in this case. I'm guessing that's how it's going to go. I'm only 1 episode in. She may do honey every episode. I have no idea. No idea. I know you're going to ask me, so I'll go ahead and answer. No mention of the fires yet. I'm sure it's coming. I find it weird again that there's only men in this episode. She was talking to the director at one point. Um, yeah, yeah, I think that's all my thoughts on this episode. I'm trying to make this fun and funny and entertaining, and I got this, and I'm not giving up because I know more stuff's coming. But there's just not a lot to work with here. There's really not. But anyway, yeah, that's all my thoughts on this. I'm dying to know yours. So do leave me comments down below. Well, have you watched it? Are you gonna watch it? Don't watch it. Let me watch it. Tell me your thoughts just hearing all this. Who is this for? Tell me if you've learned. I'm sure by the time you watch this, more behind the scenes stuff has come out or more information has come out. I'm flying blind here. Trying to figure this all out as I go. Let me know your thoughts on all of it. I'm going to get this one up and I'm going to get right back to it. And I'm going to start episode 2. I'm going to keep going on this thing. We're going to talk about it. I definitely want to get into, because people had asked for the comparison to the Pamela stuff. I've not watched the Pamela stuff, but I will look into it. I hear you loud and clear on that. If you have other things you want me to really pay attention to or things that, we have questions about, leave them below. I'll try to address them next episode. But as ever, don't say that. With love, Jennifer. As always, I so appreciate you guys being here. You flockers mean the world to me. I will do live streams as I'm able to. I don't think I'll do one today because I'll be knocking out these episodes. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll get a wild hair later. Do an hour. Answer your questions. We'll see. But we're going to figure this out together as always. Thank you guys so much for being here and for supporting. Now, stick with me because there's one thing I want to say, and there's just no easy way to transition this, but it's something I want to talk about real quick. I am sending all my love to Fiona, avid gardener. Fiona is such a lovely, wonderful, beautiful person, inside and out. You know how I feel about her. I've talked about her before. I've worked with her before. She's amazing. I knew that Graham wasn't well. I've been in touch with her behind the scenes, but I didn't feel like, I never want to be that person that's like, oh, Fiona, that's her. That's hers to share with as she chooses. But I was made aware, and then she's since publicly made everybody aware that Graham has passed. He passed early this morning. And I just want to say with all my heart breaks for her, and this flock surrounds her, and we love her. So if you have a chance, go surround her with your love, your hugs, whatever. I don't have the words, and I won't even try. My heart breaks for her and for her family. I don't want to go to a negative place. I just want to stay here with love for Fiona. But I do feel the need to say that the awful ones, the mediocre mafia, have been attacking her. It's the most disgusting thing. It's just appalling and awful. So if you will, let's surround her with our love. You know what us geese do. We're very protective of this flock. She's one of our flock. Let's protect her and look out for her. This is not what she needs. She needs our love and support. So we love you, Fiona. If you're watching, don't watch this. But Graham was such a lovely, lovely human. I only got to know him a very short time. He was such a lovely man. So my heart breaks for them. I just wanted to say that, and I wanted to put that on here. All my love to that whole family. And again, I'm not talking out of turn here. I would never dream of announcing anything, but I've seen on social media where she announced it. That's the only reason I bring it up. People were asking if I was aware. I'm aware, and I've been in touch with her. And even during this, she just is so lovely. And I told her, please, please reach out if any of us can do anything. And of course, I'll let you know. But I know her. She's a tough lady. She won't. But my heart absolutely breaks for them. I felt the need to say that. So we love you, Fiona. And here's to Graham and the whole family. This whole flock surrounds you, and we love you. So that's it for me. And I'm sending you all hugs. And we'll get through all of this crap shit. It puts in perspective. I get it. I'm not making light of it. I'm just saying we're there for Fiona, and then we'll go through this Netflix show, and we'll get through this all together. I love you, flockers, very much. And I can't wait to bring you more of these episodes. So check back, because as soon as I get episode 2, it's probably later today, I'll get that thing up too. We'll just keep going. I'll do as many as I can until I drop. Thank you guys so much for being here. Do leave me your feedback on all of this, and I appreciate you so much. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye-bye.